but I wanted to hear from the conscience, the voice, and the color analyst of your Bengals. That is the great Dave Lapham. And Dave Lapham, to address the concerns that happened after the Super Bowl, I look at it this way. In January, the Bearcats lost to Alabama. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
In February, the Bengals in the Super Bowl. The Bearcats lose to Alabama. Bengals tee it up, of course, against the Rams. Should have won the game, didn't. They lost. However, in March, the Xavier Musketeers won the National Invitation Tournament. So at least we're on a little bit of a streak. Am I right or wrong? Just tell me, am I right or wrong?
The arrow's pointing up, Willie. It's pointing upward, no doubt.
The great victory of Xavier in the NIT, the last one played in Madison Square Gardens, coming out of the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. What were the one or two major needs of your Bengals that would compel them to glory and for some the judgment seat of God? What did the Bengals have to address, and did they do it?
Well, I guess it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be 4 members of the offensive line that they replaced. That offensive line, struggled against the Rams in the second half of the Super Bowl in particular when they gave up 6 quarterback sacks. And on the final offensive play of the game for the Bengals, Joe Burrow gets pressured by Aaron Donald when he shouldn't have been pressured. They had a protection call that was supposed to double-team Aaron Donald, but they didn't execute it properly, and Aaron Donald swings him around, does him, and he throws the ball harmlessly to the ground, and the ball game's over, and Aaron Donald's pointing to his ring finger. He's got a Super Bowl ring. So they redid the offensive line, and they attacked it in free agency, as we know. And they got 3 players with a combined 236 NFL games played, 174 starts between these 3 guys: Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, Lyle Collins. So hopefully that offensive line will be, much more suited to handling what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to throw out there. Now you have a rookie who is going to step up, and Cordell Volson, the 4th-round pick at the left guard position, all he gets in his first NFL start is a guy named Cam Hayward, who's made 5 straight Pro Bowls, and Larry Ogunjobi, who had 7 quarterback sacks for the Bengals as an interior pass rusher extraordinaire. So it's going to be a test. The offensive line going against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Defensive Player of the Year candidate T.J. Watt, who tied the NFL record, 22.5 sacks last year. Although, Willie, in 2 games against the Bengals, 0 sacks. He had 22.5 sacks against everybody else, but he missed 1 game. He had it in 15 games. That's how good the kid is. He had a groin injury and didn't play in the second game against the Bengals, but in the first game in week 3, no sacks in Pittsburgh against the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the only game last year the Bengals offensive line did not allow a sack. The only game, and it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Every other game, at least 1, in a lot of cases, multiple.
And, Tony Bender tells me that sounds like a law firm of Williams, Volson, Karras, Kappa, and Collins. And he tells me that they haven't played together. We don't know if they're any good. We know about Karras, Kappa, and Collins, but Volson's a rookie, and Jonah Williams has played pretty good last year. What confidence as an offensive lineman do you have that this firm of Williams and Volson and Karras and Kappa and Collins can actually protect the crown jewels of the kingdom? What confidence do you have?
Well, Willie, just like anything, repetition breeds comfort level. And like I said, these guys have a bunch of NFL games under their belt, 236, 174 starts, but it's not with each other. It's not next to each other. It's not getting familiar with the habits and traits of those compadres as such. When an offensive line is playing together, it's 5 guys becoming one, playing like one. I always compare it to making the fist. You curl 4 fingers and wrap your thumb.
Yeah.
And it's not disjointed. It's strong. It's powerful. You want the offensive line playing that way. But it's like when you mentioned they sound like a law firm, a lawyer. I mean,
that's good. That's good.
100th trial, he's going to be a hell of a lot better lawyer than he is in his first trial.
Yep.
And the Bengals probably the offensive line will be more cohesive and have better tempo in the second half of the football game against the Steelers than they will in the first half. And they'll be better in late September than they will in early September. So it's just a matter of getting reps. But these guys know what it's supposed to look like. They've been there. The center, Karras, has been on 2 Super Bowl winning teams. The guard, Kappa, has been on 1. and the common denominator is Tom Brady, because he played for the Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and those offensive linemen benefited from his leadership, but they protected him. So they know what to do, what it's supposed to look like. It's just a matter of getting some reps under their belt and getting it done. I don't think they'll be fooled by anything Pittsburgh's going to be selling. I think they'll be able to recognize, communicate, all those sort of things. And then it's just, knocking off some rust and dust and getting the rhythm and timing that an offensive line needs to be that cohesive.
Of course, on offense, this is one of the most spectacular offenses this side of the Buffalo Bills, who took apart the Rams last night, wasn't competitive 31-10. And I said to some of the naysayers and the critics that have all the information that Burrow and Nixon and Chase and Higgins, Boyd and Hurst are a year better. They're not a year older. And so many times in life, you look for an NFL player on the wrong side of 30 years old, and these players, I think, are hungry. I saw a hungry Bills team last night, and I saw a fat, complacent Rams team get run over. And I hope the Bengals do not think that we've already got to the mountaintop. We've already had the victory parade in Washington Park. We're about the only city that has a victory parade for a team that loses in the Super Bowl. But nonetheless, am I correct in analyzes that Burrow and Mixon and Chase and Boyd and Higgins and Hurst, that they're a year better and not a year older?
I think their attitude is there's unfinished business, Willie. I still think there's a serious hunger there. And, I think they all realize the importance of this football game. Like you mentioned when we first came on the show, that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cincinnati Bengals, this will be the 106th meeting of these two franchises, have never opened the season against each other. So now you have a division rival at home with playoff implications in week one. I mean, the tiebreakers are division games. You don't want to have a home division game get away from you. So there's a sense of urgency there. There's no way, if this team comes out complacent, flat, or whatever, I'd be stunned, because there's too much significance, too much importance to this football game. And this game now against the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's always a case of put on the big boy pads, get the extra chin strap, buckle up 2 chin straps, and tighten them up, buckle them a little tighter, because it's going to be physical out there.
Lastly, you're the ruler of the jungle. You've had many great accomplishments in the past, both at Syracuse and with the Bengals, and your broadcasting career going back to 1974. During the last days of the Nixon administration, you've been involved directly or indirectly with the Bengals. And now we're up to the Biden administration. I think Biden's about the same age as Nixon if he would have lived. But nonetheless, what does it mean to you, Dave Lapham, to be selected by the Bengal chieftains as being the ruler of the jungle? Does this cap your career, or will your inclusion in the Ring of Honor be the greatest? What does it mean to be the ruler of the jungle on Sunday?
It's a tremendous honor to be ruler of the jungle. There's no question about it. Particularly, like I said, in a game of this importance and significance, because the city has gone crazy. I mean, the support for the team is at an all-time high, and they set a record last season in the playoff game, the home playoff game against the Raiders. That was a crowd record that's going to be broken in this opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the dreaded, the hated, but respected Pittsburgh Steelers. So the crowd is going to be immense. It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait, Willie. It'll be a blast.
Lastly, give me the final score. Let's not have any more anticipation. It's now about 4:37 p.m. on Sunday. Light rain is falling. It's about 70, 71 degrees. And you're the ruler of the jungle. What's the final score? Pittsburgh v. Cincinnati. I'm going to write it down.
I hope if it's raining, I hope it is just a little sprinkle. I mean, that's my biggest fear, is that there's going to be thunderstorms. Lightning will clear the field. They'll have to empty the stadium. I mean, that'll be crazy if there's any kind of severe weather that interrupts the game. And then if it is inclement like that, the team that runs the football is going to have the upper hand. And last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers struggled. They were 29th in the NFL running it, 93 yards a game.
Oh.
They gave up 146, dead last in the NFL. Gave up 5 yards a carry, dead last in the NFL. Joe Mixon rushed for only 250 yards in 2 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm thinking that if it is inclement weather, this new offensive line come control the line of scrimmage, let Joe Mixon and company get a running game going, and then Joe Burrow play action pass and work it a little bit. I'm thinking Bengals. I'm not sure what the final score is, Willie, but I'll say the Bengals by 10.
Put your credibility on the line. Give me the final score.
28-17.
I love it. That's 11 points, by the way, but that's okay. You might have gone to Syracuse instead of Xavier.
Double digits. I don't want to say 18.
No, I don't want to say 18. Don't want to say that.
I don't want to say 18. I'll go 27-10. By double digits.
27-10. We changed it already. I don't like people that change their viewpoints. So 27-10 or 27-17? What's the final score? Give me the final score. What is it?
I'm saying it's 28-17.
28-17. All right. Dave Lapham, you're the best. Good luck with the ruler of the jungle. God knows.
Stay away from these numbers, Willie.
I know. I love numbers. Nonetheless, Dave Lapham, the great number 62. Thank you for coming this afternoon on the Bill Cunningham Show. May God bless you, and God bless Xavier basketball that won the NIT.
There you go, Willie. We got winners over there in X.